How's it? Today is Friday. It's the beginning of May. No idea how long this quarantine stuff is gonna last, but today I did some hang powers with the continuation of the banded sumo deadlift sets of 10 or one set of 10, a bunch of other accessory stuff as well. Last week I was doing actually block power snatches and block power cleans, and earlier in this week I also did block power snatches and block power cleans. But because I was doing the blocks for so long, Steve wanted to include some hangs. Um, Main difference between the applications of both is that the hang powers get you moving a lot more, so they're significantly harder because you need to be able to hold on to the weight at the beginning. Um, you basically need to hold on to the weight the whole time, whereas for the hang power or the block powers, you you start supported. So the amount of effort that you put out for the hangs is just significantly higher. So that alone makes it more difficult, and you get moving through a larger range of motion. So yeah, so he didn't want me to be stuck on the block powers for too long because I'm moving such lightweight that it doesn't really matter um, how much weight I'm moving, but more or less matters how much distance I'm covering. So like the hang is gonna cover more distance, if that makes sense. Um, so today we're just kind of just saying, I just do a bunch of doubles, so 10 doubles on each lift, and I just got to 145, and I ended up staying here. I could have went probably to 160, maybe 165 for doubles, but I wanted to keep in mind that I had the deadlifts to complete later. As you can see on all of these snatches, I'm pulling from the floor here, like how I would pull normally for a regular snatch. That's because my hip my hip is making another appearance here. I want to continue pushing through that range of motion so that it's not foreign, it's not completely new. It doesn't hurt all the time, and I think that if I push correctly from the bottom position, my hip feels fine. So that was my last power snatch of the day. And then I move into the power clean. And similar thing, I do start with my hips all the way down into the squat position. I don't do that until later in the lifts, mainly because it's really inconsequential until like it's a little bit later. Like 115, I could muscle snatch that, 135, theoretically I could muscle snatch. So I don't really include those in the videos. But yeah, everything is feeling okay. Um, my hips were kind of not the happiest when I was deadlifting, but I mean that's kind of how it always feels. And I don't think it's a pain. It's more as like a discomfort with the range of motion. You can see here there, I put my hips into the bottom position to start. I end up going to 205 on the hang power cleans here. Some of these I'm a little bit behind the bar. Like that first rep in this 165, I was a little behind the bar. Yeah. I'm trying my best to pull from the floor like I'm gonna actually be lifting the weight instead of doing a deadlift. So basically what that means is I need to push with my legs a little bit more and keep my lower back position the same. So kind of similar to that. Pulling from the floor for these hangs makes it feel like I'm about to do a power clean from the ground, and I haven't done a power clean from the ground for a very long time. Like a real like heavy power clean from the ground for a really long time. And then I do 205 as my final one coming up right here. Oh, excuse me. Oh yeah, no, this is right. That's 205. There we go. And then I transition into the sumo deadlifts off of the block. Today's goal was just to do 265 for 10 for a single set of 10. So last week I did 260 for 3 sets of 10. And I didn't do any back off sets. I think today, I mean, I know for a fact today I did 3 sets of 8 back off sets at 245. So here's my set of 10. I was struggling a lot through this. This one was actually, I think it was because I was tired. Whereas most of the other deadlift days I'm struggling because 10 is a lot of reps. I think this one was actually because I was already tired at this point. I did 20 sets of power movements. I mean, granted, half of those are very light, but still, it's just a lot of extra moving that I'm not accustomed to. I try my best to get a reasonable eccentric descent, but obviously it's not as good as I have done in the past. Yeah, it is what it is. And then I do my 3 sets of 8 back off sets here at 245. Some of these are less good than others. These are definitely not hard. That the same case is true that I'm just more tired here. Yeah, that's the first set. Got 2 more of those. Could you believe it? Yeah, basically, I'm just trying to get through the sets. I was struggling really hard, so it's just an amazing thing for me to feel like, oh, I can't do this, and then keep going, because it shows something that like I would normally have just gave up. But I think this is gonna make me a lot stronger moving forward. It's gonna definitely make me a more well-rounded weightlifter. So that's some positive way to look at it. And I do one more set of that. At this point, yesterday was extremely overcast, so it looked like the sun was setting. It was also a little bit later in the day at this point, so I was trying my best just to run through it as quickly as I could. And I also have to keep in mind that I still had at least 10 or 11 more sets of accessory work after these deadlifts. So that's another way of looking at my time crunch here. That would be all of my deadlifts for today. And then I moved into some barbell bent over rows. Work up to a heavy set of 5. I wanted to do more than 185, and I just couldn't. That was just too much at that point. So he said, work up to a heavy set of 5, and then do about a few sets of 20 at 50% of that weight. So 185, 50% of that is like 92 and a half. I round that guy up, so it's 95. I do 20 reps at that weight for 3 sets, unbelievably. So I move into some lower body accessories with some good mornings. I did 3 sets of 10 with 95. I probably should have gone lighter with this. This 95 pounds was really difficult, but I didn't want to reload the weights. As you can see, I only used the 25s here. And then to finish off my lower body accessories and accessories for the entire day, I just finished out with some banded hamstring curls, just 3 simple sets of 20 here. And yeah, that'll be it for today.